Why did
I don't
we bring
need this, but not here. Not here.
Not here. They don't do attics.
Yeah.
I don't. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode about moving to Orlando. If you're new here, Dan and Leslie, we moved our family of four from the middle of the country in Oklahoma, 18 hours away to be next to Disney World.
Which is wonderful. Today it is a little stormy. So I got caught in a rainstorm earlier, so my hair's a little fun now.
Gotta love those Florida rains, but actually it's not too bad because over the last, I don't know how long, over a week, it has been lovely here. It's been beautiful. So
yes.
We actually needed the rain. If you don't follow us already on our podcast, we have Addicted to the Mouse. It airs every Sunday and Wednesday night. We have been going for 5 years now, and we talk about all things Disney, Universal, all of our adventures, and a little bit about moving to Orlando. Check us out there, Addicted to the Mouse.
The kitty wants to be involved.
So I am like protecting this mess here. So I finished my Harry Potter sleeve. I will show you that at some point when it heals, but I've got this balm that's kind of protecting because he did an area up here with the dark mark in the clouds. I'll just show you now. I've got the Hogwarts Express here. I've got a Quidditch pitch, and then we tied in everything with a lot of background. So I don't know, 60% of my arm is covered in this balm stuff, so I can't like touch anything. So
and it's starting to peel, and so if he's sitting awkwardly, that's why.
If you are new to the whole unraveling of what it takes to move to Florida, or specifically Orlando to be next to Disney World like us, we didn't exactly know where to start, and this is a huge thing to consider whenever you start thinking about moving down.
Yeah, so we knew that we were going to be downsizing from where we were, and so that was kind of our step one, and that's a lot of what this video is going to kind of circle around is the purging process and what kinds of things you can kind of look at and go, I'm not going to need that anymore.
The big thing to know here is that there are no basements and very, very few attics.
And if you have an attic, it's probably pretty small, and it may not be like ours is just this little section above the garage that we couldn't put anything super heavy up there, or else it would probably end up in our garage. So
I know why they don't have basements, because of the water table. Like if you dig down any depth, you're going to hit water. I haven't figured out the attic thing. It would be easy to add an attic here. I don't really understand why they don't do attics. I mean, there's gotta be a reason. I don't know, other than the fact that maybe they don't want to spend the money in the flooring to support it. I don't know. Anyway, so when we moved in our house, we have an attic. So they basically cut a hole in the ceiling in the garage and put a drop-down ladder so you can get up there. They didn't replace or add flooring or anything, so it's just those trusses up there. So we don't put anything heavy up there, but it's handy to get like lighter things like empty suitcases out of the way up there. But flip side, like a lot of people will put storage racks underneath their ceiling in their garage. So that's putting the same amount of weight on the trusses.
Unless you want to go get a storage unit, which we didn't want to have to pay for that. So we really came down with the mindset that we needed to be able to just store things in the closets that were available.
Yeah. You have three choices. Get a storage unit, get rid of everything, or cram everything in the space that you have, which ends up being closets and garage. And we want to be able to park in the garage, which I think the Florida garage is kind of this thing where if you open the garage door, you can't get any cars in there because it's full of boxes. So we want to head it off.
You can in ours, though.
You can in ours. We don't have any boxes in there. So we wanted to head this thing off, and we are going to talk about purging and everything you need to consider purging. Are you ready?
I am ready.
The number one thing that you are going to purge, and please do not argue on this, this is absolute must. Anything that you haven't physically seen in the last 6 months, you do not need anymore. Unless we're talking about like Christmas decorations or something like that. But if it's been hidden away in an attic, in a basement, in the back of a closet, in the corner of a garage, in a box, and you have literally not seen it in over 6 months, let's be honest, it's probably more like years, get rid of it.
And this can be a little hard whenever you're talking about those sentimental, emotional, connected things. I have a box of things from my childhood. And, I think where you need to go with things like that is maybe limit everyone in the family to one box.
Number 2 thing is a lot, I won't say all, but a lot of winter clothes.
Yeah, you don't really need them much here. Now, we did have some colder days, so you will want like your favorites. So I kept all my favorite like hoodies and sweatshirts and those kind of things. But as far as like, you know, wherever you may be coming from, I guarantee that you probably have a lot of things in your closet that are like your last pick as far as your winter clothes go. You don't need those.
We lived in like the middle of the country, so it did snow, it did ice, it did get cold, but nothing like up north.
Yeah.
From what I understand, I mean, you have like layers upon layers upon layers up north, and if you think about it, all of your winter clothes from up north, number one, they're too bulky and big because it doesn't happen here unless, like you said, you're traveling back like 6 months here, 6 months there, so just keep them there. But they're also probably too big to wear here because if you get the oversized, big, bulky coat, you don't need all those layers here, even if you want just one coat to put on, because I mean, let's be honest, once you acclimate to the Florida heat, if it gets down below 60 here, we're throwing coats on, and I've already seen this with us, like when it was below 60, we're throwing jackets
like,
on.
It's chilly.
But yeah, I mean, really, you can get by with a couple light jackets, maybe a couple of sweatshirts, and there's just not the closet space to have all that stuff here.
All right, so the next thing is that big, heavy bedding. So unless you're gonna keep your house really, really cold with the AC, which more power to you, it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg for
get ready to spend that money.
6 months out of the year. But unless you're gonna do that, you really don't need that big, heavy bedding because it's warmer here.
You're not gonna want it on top of you.
Yeah.
Number 4 thing to get rid of is anything that's broken. You're not gonna fix it. Just go ahead and get rid of it. I am guilty of this. There are things that were broken that I intended on rebuilding or repairing, and just don't.
So they move from one house to the next for a while, but not here. Not here.
Not here.
The number 5 thing is that giant, expensive oak furniture. Now, if that is your style and that is the style that you're going to have whenever you come to Florida, then obviously, you know, keep it. We definitely wanted to kind of change our style a little bit, and that giant, heavy oak stuff, it just wasn't going to fit in with what we wanted our house to look like.
Yeah, I mean, if that is your style, you have to be very intentional about how you do it, because if the Florida homes, they are not, at least the ones in Orlando, all the ones that we've looked at, they're not built for that. I mean, the homes, you don't, I'm sure some people come here and upsize, I'm sure it's possible, but I don't think most people come here to get giant homes. There are a lot of people that retire down here, or that come down here to downsize, or that buy houses that either going to rent out for part of the year or just split between maybe our neighbor, 6 months north, 6 months down here. And so they're not huge houses, and they are a lot of production houses, and so they're the same floor plans over and over and over, and they're not built to have these giant armoires and all of this beautiful oak furniture like some of these larger farmhouses from up north or where we're from. In the same vein, make sure you're very intentional about what furniture and decorations you do bring down with you, because it is a lot cheaper and easier to get rid of them there than it is to pay to move them and then try and get rid of them here. So anything from picture frames to paintings to couches, whatever, even if it's not the big giant oak stuff, like just make sure it is your style and it's going to be your style here, and it will fit in whatever house here before you move it down.
The next thing is that I can pretty much promise that you're not going to need snow equipment.
Don't bring your snowblower. Don't bring your snowmobile. Don't bring the big snow shovel. I will say keep the ice scraper. Okay, number 8 is most of the junk in your garage right now. Don't bring it. You do not need the cans of paint for your current house or your older house. You do not need the half bag of fertilizer. You do not need any of that stuff. Get rid of it there.
Yeah. There was a lot of stuff that we had toted around because you just never know, you might need it.
Half bottles of WD-40 and antifreeze from when I used to own a classic car. I mean, it's just like, what? Why? Brake fluid that I never once opened?
Yeah.
I don't
Okay, so everyone out there that has felt like you can't ever throw away a single piece of paper or artwork that your child has brought home from school from the time that they started in pre-K all the way through to wherever they are now, and you probably have boxes upon boxes of stuff in your closet or attic or wherever because, you know, you go through those things so often and look at them. A friend of mine actually gave us the idea to take pictures of all of those things and turn them into Shutterfly books. So I am not completed with that yet because I found out that idea too close to the move and I didn't have time.
So we still have a box of this stuff.
So we still moved it. However, that is the process that I am going through right now. And it will be so nice whenever it's done, where I just have a couple of skinny little Shutterfly books as opposed to all of these boxes of things that I'll never look at.
Second to last category of the stuff that you absolutely have to get rid of is the stuff that you maybe want to get rid of, okay? So what I'm focusing on is number one, appliances. If you buy a house down here, a lot of them come with all of the appliances, including the washer and dryer and the refrigerator, which is new for us.
Yeah.
So don't plan on hauling down your old washer and dryer and your giant refrigerator if your house is already gonna come with it. Just check, just make sure before you bring it down here. So maybe you wanna get rid of those. We left ours in Oklahoma. We gave away the washer and dryer and we let the person that bought the house that we moved out of, we let them keep the refrigerator. They were grateful. We didn't have to pay to move it.
Oh, and that thing, getting it in the hole, was a nightmare, so I'm really glad that they didn't make me try to get it out.
It was big and it was heavy.
Yes.
The other thing that I'm kind of thinking of here is lawn equipment. So we actually brought a weed eater and an edger and a trimmer and a mower, and we pay people to mow our yard and do all of that stuff for us. So if you have an HOA that does it, takes care of it for you, you don't need it. If you think you might pay someone to do it for you, because it is a lot cheaper here than it was for us in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're paying $100 a month for them to come every week. It's not every week in the winter, but every week in the summer, mow, edge, do all of that stuff. And they basically do the whole street. So they like start at one end of the street and they just.
And then the last thing is that catch-all category. So anything that you think you probably aren't going to use or want whenever you get here, why put the effort in actually moving it if you're just gonna get rid of it once you're here?
You're gonna get down here. I don't care how much you purge. You're gonna get down here. You're gonna start unboxing stuff.
And you're gonna be like, what?
Why did we bring this? I don't know how many times we said that. And we purged a lot of stuff. And we still unbox things and are wondering why we have this. So we threw away a bunch of stuff after we got here, and we've still got stuff. Like, we've unboxed everything now, but we do have things in closets that we need to pare down even further.
Yeah.
We're just not gonna use it.
I already have one full tote that we're gonna take to Goodwill, so.
All right. So there you have it. Those are the things that you absolutely do not want to bring with you when you move to Disney World, move to Orlando. Now, we're just, I mean, what do we know? We just did it. So if you love your stuff and you want to bring it all with you and get a storage unit, more power to you, but it is not gonna be stored in an attic or a basement here.
If you are enjoying these videos, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We also love it whenever we hear from you. So if you wanna comment on the video or reach out to us, we love hearing from the people that are following our crazy journey. And if you have a vacation need in your future, we do own a travel agency, which is one of the main reasons that we moved down here, Fantastical Vacations, and we would love to help you on your next adventure.
So we will see you on the next video.